Today's lesson is about solving two-step inequalities. And your learning target says, I can solve two-step inequalities. We should add to that and graph the solution set. Please remember that solving a two-step inequality is really no different than solving a two-step equation, other than if to solve the equation you have to multiply or divide by the same negative number, you have to remember to flip your sign. So let's do this first one together. Step one in solving an equation or an inequality that has two steps is going to be to add or subtract whatever constant is on the same side as my variable. So I believe we should add 6 to both sides as our step 1. That will leave y divided by 2 on the left and 7 on the right. Notice I didn't change my sign. Step 2 is to multiply or divide by the coefficient on the same side as the variable. And since this is a divided by 2, I think we should multiply both sides by 2. That isolates our variable y on one side and 14 on the other. I did not deal with a negative 2, and so I'm not going to flip my sign. To graph that, I'll do that up here. I'm going to put 14 in the center, one bigger, one smaller. 14 is not part of my solution set, so an open circle. My solution is everything greater than but not including 14. So everything greater than but not including 14. There we go. All right, I want you to pause while you do 2, 3, and 4 and come back when you're ready for checking. Here's my solution to the second problem. First, I subtracted 8 from both sides. Then I multiplied both sides by a negative 3 and therefore had to switch my sign. So I have m is greater than or equal to positive 9, and so my graph is up above. Here's my solution to the third problem. I first added 5 to both sides. Then I divided both sides by a positive 4 and did not flip my sign. Y has to be everything less than but not including 4. So I have an open circle and I've colored in to the left of my number line. And here's my last solution. I subtracted 5 from both sides as step 1. I divided both sides by a negative 3 and therefore flipped my sign. So I have x is everything greater than and including 3, and I graph that in black. So let's see if we can transfer what we can do with numbers in isolation to a story problem. It says the band students at Wilson Middle School are trying to raise at least $5,000 to buy new percussion instruments. They have already raised $850. How much should each of the 83 band members still raise on average to meet their goal? We want to write and solve an inequality for this situation. And we'll talk through the steps as we go. So let's think about this. They have $850, and they are going to add to that some money from every band member. And we want that to be at least $5,000. So that means that this is the money side that they are raising. This is the raising money side. It would be okay for it to be equal to $5,000, or the money raised could be more than $5,000. That would be okay too. So we have the raising money side is going to be greater than or equal to the $5,000. That is their goal. So let's think through this. I think we should probably take off the $850 that they've already raised. And that will leave $83 for every member on this side, the left side. I'm not going to change my sign. And if you take your 5,000 minus the 850 that they already had, that leaves 4150. That needs to be divided evenly between 83 band members. And so if we take our 4,150 and divide it evenly among 83 band members, each member should raise more than or equal to $50. Okay, now it's your turn. I want you to read through this problem, see if you can translate it into an inequality and solve it. Pause me while you're working on this and then come back to see how I solved it. So I set this up with our 3 students and the donation with from their parents on one side of the equation. That's how much they have collected. And that amount, the 3 amounts of money that the kids are going to split and the $15 they have to repay, goes on one side, and that has to be more than $93. So step 1, we paid the parents back. So we subtracted 15 from both sides, and that left just the 3 students having to share more than $78. So I divided the $78 evenly among the 3 students, and it came out to be that the students are going to have or earn more than $26 each.